Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your November 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Taurus. And before we get started, I just want you to know that 2020 readings are going to be coming out soon. So make sure you either subscribe or sign up for my newsletter for notifications on all of the awesome stuff that I have coming out soon. And there's a lot of content, classes, all sorts of good stuff I'm going to be sharing. So sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the description box. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you don't already. Now, without further ado, let's lay this spread out and then we will get started. All right, let's start with the oracle cards for you this month. Love is never regrettable. So I really want to add some nuance to this. Love is not the same thing as codependency. Just make sure you're teasing that apart, because I'm sure some of you might be saying, oh my God, I've absolutely experienced toxic love. But that's more of the codependency and dynamics that surround connection. That's totally different. What's going on here is love in terms of that feeling of just being connected to God. That's essentially what love is. And so that in itself, when you're able to tap into that connection, that well of energy, that in itself is never regrettable. Okay, and then we also have ask body. So if you are wondering what decision should I make or where should I go, check in with your body, because that's going to have a lot of information for you, and you're going to have to ground to get to this place. If you're super ungrounded, you're going to have a harder time listening to your body, so just make sure that you're paying close attention to that. And then we also have compost. Break it down into its elements. Let whatever isn't working become the soil for your next endeavor. Send it to the earth. Let it return to you with new vitality. So breaking things down overall, this is also kind of like a recycling card. So maybe there's needing to shelf something for now until you're ready to open it back up again. I know that's really common for people. So the compost card is just highlighting that for you. Now, this reading that I'm doing is way different than what I normally do. So I have 3 oracle cards. This is past, present, future, your outer world, your inner world. I'm not doing a timeline this month. So in the past position, we have be gentle with yourself. Capricorn had the same thing. And this card is really feminine energy coming off of this, and the be gentle with yourself is something that's really nourishing for progress. And if you're trying to move forward into something, make sure you're being gentle with yourself in that process. So I think you've already had a lot of lessening around this practice. And then present time, we have release, creating space. That's what that compost card is all about. Making sure you're opening things up. If you are trying to suffocate things into confinement, that's not really going to be effective. So what I'm seeing here is just making sure that you're kind of carrying forward, knowing what you need, and then willing to release anything that doesn't match with being gentle with yourself. And then the oncoming or the future card we have is coming together. You might find that there's a lot of opportunities for collaboration or working with people, like the right people coming into your life, the right connections coming into your space. That's the energy of this card in large part. So I think there's a need for you to create space in order for this connection, people, group, collaborator to come into your life. So make sure you're taking inventory. Is there someone who's cluttering your space that maybe you want to move away from? Now, your outer world, this is what's happening outside of you in the material world. We have the 6 of Swords, so forward movement. Maybe there was something going on that really didn't gel with you, and so now you're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I like this card as well because anything external that may have felt really rocky The Six of Swords indicates that things are smoothing out, like you're going from things being really turbulent into things being really smooth and much, much easier. Whoops. So to clarify this card, just to get some more context, we have the Star. Have a little bit of faith in the timing. You're really going to need to get behind that, otherwise you're going to get really frustrated, or that's what it can lead to easily. So the Star is a reminder that yes, you're moving forward, but it's not something that's necessarily going to feel like an overnight remedy. And make sure you give yourself a little bit of time and patience for things to kind of hammer out in the external. But know that it's getting there, it's happening. And then we have the Eight of Cups. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to take a different perspective or to feel differently about things. You're not stuck in one way of thinking. You can evolve as things come up, as new layers emerge, as you see things being reflected to you in the external. And it also might be that you need to adopt a new way of thinking in order for you to feel secure in your current environment. Either way, know that changing your mind is a part of the healing experience. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is ultimately about showing up for your emotions in the external world in this position. So you might be feeling as though there's a lot of dust kicked up right now. That's kind of the energy of these two cards, because these are transition cards. And then the Knight of Cups is just having you tap into your feeling. What is it that you're really wanting from this experience that you're having, the situation, your life, your relationships, and then lead with those emotions, bring those into the external, allow those to be seen so that they can be met and matched and delivered ultimately. This is kind of reminding me of a closed mouth won't get fed, so make sure that you are willing to be vulnerable in that capacity if you want to see progress there. Now let's get into your internal experience, your emotional world, your internal world. We have the Nine of Swords. This is just fear. The great thing about the Nine of Swords is the fact that it's not in the material world. It's an internal experience of fear. This is a case of the what ifs. What if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not able to do this? What if I don't have the right things at the right time? And this is when you do want to lean into that faith position, right? That I don't know how this is going to work. I just trust that it will. And then be willing to trust your body, trust the guidance that you're receiving to help you shift out of that. It's inevitable that we're going to come up against things that make us afraid. It's inevitable that we're going to have, doubts and fears and bad days and a whole variety of human experiences. But the Nine of Swords is just saying it's possible for you to transition out of that. It just takes practice. And then we also have the Three of Cups. Phone a friend for help, or whoever you feel connected to. That might be a good resource for you to have at this point in time. The Three of Cups is connection and collaboration. So that same energy of coming together, that's what I think is going to help break up that, what if I can't do this? It might be something where you need to be reminded of all of the things you've been able to accomplish in order to get where you are today. It's very easy when we're evaluating ourselves to lose sight of that. And I think you might need a reminder, and a friend might be a good place to turn for that. And see what else is going on. Strength. This is just a testament to the fact that even if you're coming up against fears, that's okay for you to be in this what if. That's totally normal. But the Strength card is just reminding you that you have all of the necessary resources. That was the other thing that I wanted to mention, is that in this position, in this reading, you're not going to get left out in the cold, metaphorically speaking. Like, you're not going to not get the things that you need, but your job is to have faith even when it feels like, or it seems like it's not going to happen. And that's the hard work, right? Because if everything in your body, your physical experience, is making you feel afraid, right? It's very hard to get on board with things are going to work out, which is part of how you essentially practice shifting your emotional state so that you can see good things when they come up, and you can recognize when it's time for you to kind of lean into the net that's appearing for you. And then we have, strength again. I'm telling you, call on the data that you have from past experiences. That is going to be the best reminder and gift that you can give yourself at this point. When in your life have you been afraid and then things worked out, or really terrified of moving forward and then it miraculously resolved? Just count on all of the times when you've seen that happen for yourself, and then know that that's where you were able to come through and then things were able to resolve from there. Now let's do a 3-card pick. I am going to lay these out, so you're welcome to ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, support, whatever you need. Deep breath into the diaphragm, and go ahead, pick as few or as many cards as you like. Okay, card number 1. Queen of Wands, allow yourself to be seen. You have to show up. This has a similar energy to the Knight of Cups in the sense that both of these cards are willing to be seen fully. They're willing to be vulnerable even when it's scary. And so this might just be you understanding what you need, coming to terms with what you need, and then expressing what you need and working on all 3 of those. And then card number 2, we have the 3 of Pentacles. The efforts that you're putting in now are going to pay off massively. So the 3 of Pentacles is also a collaboration card. And I just see this as reminding you that the work that you do is important. It's vital for your expression in this lifetime. So be willing to put in the work. It doesn't mean it has to be painful and awful and dreadful. It's just a reminder that you want to bring it to life. You want to bring those desires, those nudges into the real world. It's going to help you. And you don't know who it's going to impact as a result. So do something that feels really good, that you are passionate about. And then card number 3, King of Cups. The solution is in your emotions, in your emotional world, in your emotional state. So if you asked a question, this is a time to look at yourself, what's going on internally. Are you emotionally out of whack? Are you out of balance? Are you feeling really good? What's going on with your emotions? That's going to tell you what you need to know about your next steps. So use this energy wisely and know that you already have the answers within yourself. You just have to get quiet enough to hear them. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for a bit, everybody. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And as always, if you need to work with me one-on-one, you are more than welcome to book a session with me. I am available. So just go to onyxhealing.com or check out the link in the description box for more ways to work with me. I have a lot of good stuff coming up in the coming months. And I also offer more readings on my newsletter, just like little readings that you get sent to your inbox every Sunday. And so go sign up for my newsletter if you're interested in all sorts of content and more readings. And until next time, have a beautiful November, everybody. And I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.